G'day and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do something different, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail, which I haven't even seen yet because I haven't made it yet. That's weird, isn't it? So I've got a somewhat exciting project, and yes, I'm here in my living room. But first, I want to introduce you to my coffee table. Nothing like a nice cup of coffee. Yes, that's right. I have a Go Kart as a coffee table. So there it is. Let me tell you the story about this little thing. So the other day I was scrolling through the Facebook buy and sell pages and I came across a Go Kart frame. Now the child within me, which is very strong, the force is strong in that child, was just like, oh, that's really cool, and the price was pretty good. But it looked really small, and I'm like, well, my daughter doesn't like motorbikes, and I'm kind of a motorbike guy and grown up with motorbikes, and there's bikes out the back for her, but she doesn't want anything to do with them. And I was like, that looks all right, that looks like a kid's kart, and I've got a 2 horsepower Honda horizontal shaft engine out the back, and I'm thinking that'd be perfect to make from a little girl, and she can have a bit of a play, and maybe Dad can have a ride in it, but yeah, not necessarily for me. But when I showed up at the place, which is not far from the house, it is a full-size adult go-kart frame. And I was a little bit gobsmacked, to be honest. It wasn't much more than the price of a case of beer. So I handed over my cash as fast as I could. It helped me put it back on the ute. And here it is. So that boy in me, which is now a big boy, I wouldn't say I was an adult. I was like, so how do we do this? This is not what I expected. But as a kid, I grew up with motorbikes. I've had motorbikes since I was, I think, 7 years old. But I've always wanted a go-kart, and I've never ever really had one. I've had rides on them, but yeah, never had a go-kart. So it's always been one of them things. So who am I building this for? For me. Why? I don't know. Have I got anywhere to ride it? No, not really. But I do plan to make it so my daughter can ride it as well. So this thing doesn't look like it's ever been used as a go-kart. It looks like it was pulled apart. There's no signs of wear at all, but it is missing a few things. So it's missing the wheels, front hubs, rear wheels. It's missing an engine, the chain, the clutch assembly. So not a lot of stuff. All the steering's there, seats there, brakes are there, controls are on the steering. But the real dilemma was that little 2 horsepower engine. It won't push this thing around at all, not even with my daughter, I don't think, because it's a big cart. So I got online and I was really surprised at the price of motors. So I got a motor delivered for just over $100, a 6.5 horsepower Honda replica overhead valve engine. But before I get into all that stuff, this is the plan. The plan is to build this go-kart in my living room, start it in the living room, and its first test drive is going to be in the living room. And the best part, I got tiles. So we're gonna do a big smoky burnout in the living room. And the real question is, can we set off the smoke alarm? And you might be asking, so what does your missus think of this, Paulie? Paulie doesn't have a missus. So like I said, I got online, I got a few parts. So the hubs are here. They're the right internal diameter. They're supposed to be the right PCD for the wheels, but the problem is they're too long for the stub, so I'm going to have to machine those. Not a big deal, they weren't expensive. Chain is here, it's the right pitch, and the motor is here. Now check this thing out. So mate, check out what it says on the side. Now, where did I see it? Here you go. Technology of Japan, made in China. I love it. So let's have a look at this thing. Stuff is way too cheap these days. It blows my mind away. This thing is like $120 or something delivered to my door. I don't know how people can do that for that sort of money, but it's just crazy. And you might go, it's Chinese, it's rubbish, but really who cares? For what I paid for it, whatever, who cares? But in reality, the stuff coming out of China these days isn't too bad. And this is what everyone's using now. So it'll be fine for my purpose. So the wheels and the clutch. Is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else. I'm expecting those today. So I've got notifications that they're coming today. So hopefully by the end of today, we can finish this video by doing a big smoky burnout in my living room. So apart from the hubs, which I've got a machine, I'm not expecting too many dramas. Everything should just be bolt on. So let's get into it. The best part about building stuff in your living room, you get to watch music videos from your favourite bands. But I can't let you listen to that because of copyright. Sorry. Righty, so my wheels and clutch just arrived, which is awesome. This is the problem I've got with my hubs. So they fit but a little bit too wide, which I'll machine off in a second. The wheels line up with the hubs, which is fantastic. These were ridiculously cheap as well, these wheels. I don't know how they do it, but hey, let's get this thing going. One thing I've learned over time is that you're kidding yourself if you're not going to find little drama. So clutch fits on perfectly. The problem is if I put that bolt on, that washer is going to hold it onto there, but this thing's still going to float around a little bit, and that's no good because it'll just flog out the shaft. So what I need to do is put a spacer in behind there to stop that movement. So let's see what I can find. A spacer in the form of a spring washer. It's the right size for the shaft. It butts up against the back of the step there in the crankshaft, and it will help hold tension on the clutch. So perfect.
No chain. Chain.
Well, apart from fuel and oil, we're ready to rumble. But I do think it'd be pretty immature of me to do a burnout in my living room though. Yeah. Smell of burning rubber. It's awesome. I might start a new batch pad fragrance for a man. Yeah, and a cologne. That'd be cool. But anyway, stay tuned, be good to you mates. Hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit of fun. And now I've got to clean this mess up. Cheers. See ya. It's worth noting that you may or may not leave a whole heap of molten rubber on your living room floor.